Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 151. Welcome to Gamescom, the
My
post
favorite
Gamescom.
Flavor of Bacardi. Not a sponsor, but could be.
151? Could be. Hey, speaking of, were you drinking Bacardi over the weekend, Briar?
In your kayak?
Yeah.
No, I went kayaking yesterday with.
Yeah, well, there's rumors. There's
afterward.
rumors that you were face down naked, sleeping in the kayak afterwards. That's why you didn't make the raid yesterday. Is that happening?
There was an alcohol related illness.
Kayak incident?
I wouldn't say illness, but I went kayaking. We stopped at a restaurant afterward. I had a singular Bud Light and almost fell asleep at the restaurant.
From a Bud Light?
Why?
Well, I think it was mostly from kayaking in the sun all day.
Nah.
But the Bud Light was the trigger. That's like, oh.
It was the straw that
Close my
broke the
eyes for a
camel's
second
back. Yeah, we did.
It was a lot of kayaking.
Yeah, obviously we did the King's Fall raid yesterday, and people were asking where you were, and I was like, Briar went kayaking. I could already, as soon as you said you went kayaking, I was like, there's no way you're gonna come back from a sun-drenched kayaking day and be like, I need to sit in front of the monitor and play a raid for 2 hours. I was like, that's not happening.
Yeah. Not happening.
Today I played the amazing game. This one was just released. It's Garage Organizer for New Kayaks 2022 edition. Which is much upgraded over 2021 edition. I don't know if you guys got a chance to play last year's edition.
Is there a Power Wash DLC coming for it?
No, but there is a it now includes smell-o-vision. You can literally smell the mouse pee in the garage. It's very intense.
Is this in Unreal Engine 5, this one?
Of course, yes.
It's got nice graphics.
Only hot. Well, the graphics aren't that good. I mean,
too realistic.
You know, it's realistic, but not spectacular, I would say. Yeah, pretty fun game. I would highly recommend it.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, comes with back pain included. It's great.
Oh, lovely.
Love it. The immersion. It's got to be done.
Get that free. Yeah. It's not a paid for DLC.
Get some Epsom salts. It'll sort out that back pain.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, do a little soaking.
Does help.
That's what you need after kayaking all day in the sun. A little Epsom salt bath.
No, you're gonna drown.
Kayaking is super fun.
Like, might fall asleep.
I have never been kayaking before. About 2 weeks ago, when me and my buddy went frisbee golfing, and he didn't like it. He really didn't like it. So he's like, "You want to come back to my house and we'll go kayaking?" I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds amazing." So we loaded the kayaks up with beer and we went out kayaking, and I loved it. Immediately went to the kayak store. My wife was like, "Oh, you want to go kayaking?" I love kayaking, so she went on a kayak too. So we bought 2 kayaks, and I've been obsessed with it for the last 2 weeks. It's been fun. It's so relaxing and it's so fun, and it's like you're in a part of your world that you never get to explore, and like there's no other people around in. It's so fun.
That's cool. Plus, it's the time of year. Like, as soon as it gets winter, you ain't kayaking then, right?
No, I would imagine you could do it till probably October.
Yeah.
Can I kayak in the rain? That sounds fun.
You can.
A little sleep kayak.
Will I sink?
No. No.
You sure?
So
only if you like open the kayak hatch and just let the rain come in.
The kayak I bought, you sit inside, so there is the concern of like getting water inside of it. So
how much beer can you put in?
A guy on the internet said, bring a sponge, and then you just load the sponge up with water and squeeze it out outside the boat. You do that a couple times. As long as you do it relatively frequently, then it's a dry. But my wife got what's called a sit on top kayak, which has got scupper holes. So the water just drains through to sit on top.
There's not a lot of beer room, though, for that, right?
No, it's the downside of sit on top.
That's why you get the other sponge and you soak that in beer. So you can just squeeze it.
Oh, it's beer squeezy. Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Don't mix the 2 sponges up. You don't want the water and the beer in the same sponge.
Or you don't want to sink your kayak with beer.
No.
Beer?
That'd be one hell of a way to go. If I did die that way, please make sure that's on my tombstone.
Oh my gosh. Well, that does sound fun. I've never been kayaking. I would like to go one day.
It is super cool.
Once.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good. I'd be down to go kayak.
There you go.
Well, come on over.
Yeah, invite us. Kayak and Briar, come on.
Can Watts come out and play?
All right, we got Gamescom stuff to talk about, right?
Gamescom.
First off, how was it? How was the Gamescom show?
I'd say it was a decent show. It was a decent showing. When you think about normally, if you kind of think back to like previous years, Gamescom is always the kind of offshoot from E3. Like in terms of consumer size, it's the biggest show in the year. But in terms of actual announcements, it's kind of like all the E3 stuff's happened. You kind of get a few re-showings and maybe a couple of new things.
Yeah.
So I feel like, but Jeff's show, I feel like overall, I kind of put it as like a mid-tier show. Like it was nice and solid. Like throughout, there were some really cool games that are like super exciting, but I feel like it's one of those ones where they didn't pull the usual like Ubisoft Darts segment or like annoying sports segment. So that it was consistently just good games. There was nothing that was like blew me away out the water per se. But at the same time, I feel like as Gamescom showings go, it was actually pretty solid.
Nice. Yeah, it's like a checkup. You know, it's like, how are these games looking so far? You know, or maybe a new trailer dropping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of like there were quite a few gameplay trailers or gameplay reveals of games that I was previously interested in, which I did appreciate that. Because seeing a trailer and being like, okay, I like the setting and I like it looks cool, the graphics look good, is great. But until you see the combat or the actual gameplay of what you're doing in the game, it's kind of hard to say. So I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Well, Long Fallen Dynasty.
That game looks awesome, Watts.
Listen,
looking good.
Listen, I had high expectations because it's Neo in China. And like their combat is really good. Even if you don't like Neo games or like you don't finish them or you can't get into them, the combat is really unique and feels good. But I saw this gameplay and it's so smooth. Like you can really tell the Chinese martial art influence of how smooth and fluid all of the combat is. Oh man, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
This is a world I want to explore and be in and like check it out too. This is really hitting like some of those pleasure centers in the brain that are like, oh yeah, you want to check this out. You want to spend some time here. You know,
you want to like
looks cool.
You want to become masterful in a particular weapon in the game. Be like, yeah, I really know this weapon and like experience the bosses with it. Right?
Yeah, I want to jump on their heads and then fly around and dip and dodge and slide, and I want to do that. That looks great.
Dodgeball.
The ancient art of dodgeball.
Yeah, this looks hella cool. When's this one coming out? Did they say yet? Do they have a release date for it?
Early 2023.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not far away.
It's not far away. We're getting towards the end of the year. So anything that's like early 2023, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of things saying early 2023.
There is.
That is.
Like, well, that's how this year was too, right? It's like it's just crazy at the beginning of the year, and then we've had this like really long drought over the summer. It doesn't look like it's going to be like a particularly crazy like fall either. Winter.
There's not a great deal of stuff coming out.
Fall's looking pretty light,
yeah, some notable stuff for sure, but not like a ton of crazy stuff.
Yeah, like you got God of War coming out this fall, but everything else that you were potentially excited for has been pushed.
Yeah.
I think most of it has been pushed. So yeah, it's like basically like this year, except Elden Ring was, I feel like a once in a decade type of game. I don't know if a once in a decade type of game is coming out next year. You know,
Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Oh, there were leaks. There were leaks about
twice in a
that.
decade, I guess.
Imagine if that happens like beginning of next year. It's like Elden Ring DLC just dominates again, and everyone's like, "Oh, for goodness' sake, please just give us a break." We pushed our game out a whole year because we didn't want to be near you. Now you come and do this again,
right? And they're like, they like make it extra large too, where it's like unusually sizable expansion. People be like, "What is this? Like twice the game? What's going on?"
Yeah. Elden Ring 2.
Yeah.
There was someone who, now listen, I do not condone hackers or leakers, okay?
Correct.
Unless they're telling me about Elden Ring DLC. So there was someone who hacked Bandai Namco.
Oh boy.
And they just spilled like all the games that are coming out that was in there.
Oh.
And one of them was an Elden Ring DLC called Barbarians of the Badlands.
Oh.
So that is like
That's a dumb
warrior,
name.
That guy.
That's a
his
dumb name.
people Nefeli Lu, all those people are like Badland barbarian people, and that's where they come from.
I see.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
I know.
Is that going to be like?
Play it.
Is that going to come out like February 28th?
I think it said Q3 2023.
Oh, really? Q3?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. At least that's what it's saying right now. Of course, it can change, and this is like a hack, so who knows?
Yeah.
How
Q3 is such a
but...
strange time for a FromSoft thing to drop. I don't think I've ever.
I wonder if it's just so massive that it just takes some.
Yeah, take all the time you want.
Some of you like, oh god.
I'll tell you this though, I'm going to be when that comes out. I've got to be like super careful because I feel like I did like damage to myself playing because I got so obsessed with the game when it came out that I couldn't stop playing it. I was playing it for like 16 hours a day.
And it ruined all the other games like for a while afterwards. Like I think I'm only just starting to recover from like the literally like it was the episode like you were away last week, but literally the first time I actually played a game since then was playing Curse to Golf. Finally, it was like I'm back playing games. I was like, oh, this is something. So like Elden Ring just needs to be a space of its own. Like put it in summer where all the games are done.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, you're right. It would be terrible if it came out February of next year. It would just be like a nuke to all these great titles that are coming out.
Especially considering Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to be next year.
What?
So that's gonna.
Have they put like a quarter on that or?
No, still nothing.
Nothing. Just 2023 in general.
Yeah. If it does come out in March, when do you think they would actually start officially announcing and promoting?
I feel like for Nintendo, maybe like they drop a trailer in the Game Awards because I think Nintendo especially have definitely been a lot shorter in their marketing trains now. Like you think about when they they first teased Splatoon, but they've only really started like actually dialing up now. And Splatoon's coming out, not too far away. So I think honestly, like if they drop the trailer in the Game Awards, they could just aggressively market Q1 and then drop it in March, and I think that'd be enough to be honest.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, they don't even have to drop a trailer. All they gotta do is like at some point say, "Hey, it's coming out."
Yeah, it is very true.
Breath 2, get ready, nerds.
Yeah, you can pre-order it now.
Yeah.
There were a couple other things in that leak of
really?
Q1 2023 Armored Core. Apparently,
okay. That's the other thing that FromSoft are working on, right?
Yeah. There's also Code Vein 2 Q4.
Oh,
I know. I was like, wow.
Interesting.
Where's that coming from?
I like Code Vein.
Little Nightmares 3.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Code Vein, yeah.
I enjoyed it. I didn't know whether it. I didn't look at the numbers. I wasn't sure whether it did particularly well for them or whether it was just. But it was a cool game. So I mean, like more of those things is always definitely welcome. But I just I kind of like I didn't really hear too many. Like I know we played it and stuff, but I didn't really hear too many people speaking about it. So I kind of just assumed that maybe it might be one of those ones that like didn't get too much attention. But
as of 2021, it had sold 2 million. So
I guess consider for like an anime style game, I guess that's actually probably pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. And that's not even Gamescom. That's just hackers on the internet.
Just a leak.
Yeah. God bless them hackers. Everyone.
Hackercom.
Doing the Lord's work.
Back to Gamescom. Well, you dropped a bunch of trailers and I watched them all.
Lies of P is the other one. Lies of P is the other one. And I think that's one that's got a lot of people very excited. We kind of talked about this when it was first announced, and then we were like, it's coming out 2023, but it's cool, whatever. But it is Pinocchio, but if he was in Bloodborne.
Yeah. Pinocchio Souls.
Yeah, and it's also I don't know if the previous trailer showed this, but like a lot of the enemies are basically Pinocchio-ish type of characters and creatures and all that. And
it's almost like you're fighting your own people to fight the human.
Honestly, it made it way more creepy.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this is kind of terrifying me. They fight that clown at the end on that video. I was like,
clowns.
This is nightmare material.
I like everything about the pitch for this game, and then when I see it in action, I'm like, I'm just not sure. Like, just not sure about this one. Like, is it going to be great? Because it could be, or is it going to be like another Souls-like that doesn't quite catch the magic, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about is if you don't have the FromSoft magic, it's very difficult to like have that perfect, that balancing act of just the like level design is one of those things where it's like, it's so crucial to that FromSoft formula to make you feel like you're going through this magical journey. Yeah, I don't know. Like watching it, I was spooked. I'm definitely interested in playing it, but I'm not convinced it has that magic.
Yeah, we'll see because it's doing a couple interesting things. Like they are incorporating the lying, so they're doing lying quests with multiple endings. So there's going to be interconnected procedural quests that play out depending on how you lie, and then these choices will affect how the story ends. So that's cool how they're tying that in. They also have a weapon making system where you can combine weapons in a multitude of ways to create something new altogether. And then they have a special skill system. So it says here with Pinocchio being a doll, you can change parts of his body to gain new skills and hopefully an edge in battle. But not all of these enhancements are for fighting.
Not creepy at all. Okay, I gotta say on that. So they showed a bit of that in that trailer, and like that looks amazing.
Yeah,
like, yeah. That part, I was like, whoa, that's cool looking. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact that as well the arms are like used for. It's not just like a combat thing as well. Like some of them are used for traversing the environment and like opening doorways. I assume solving not really puzzles, but you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So it's just like it's definitely more than just a combat tool. But yeah, having that additional component, it's kind of like sort of DMC5, Nero's arms and things like that. So
right, yeah.
Yeah,
that looked interesting. So I'm very my interest is very much piqued. Will most likely play the game, but I won't be surprised if it ends up being something that I'm like, I didn't quite hit the target. I hope it hits the target. Not that.
I hope so. It looks super good, but you're definitely right. It's like if you look at something like TheMavShow or something like that, like it had like visually had all the right boxes to tick and stuff, but ultimately when you play it, it just doesn't feel the same way. And it's like ultimately they don't have to be like From Software games, but it's just that they, much like when people try and like create like other Monster Hunter style games and stuff, like sometimes they don't hit the same way with like TheMavShow. It's like you're hitting things and you're just like, it's cool, it looks cool, it looks like, it visually ticks all the boxes, but yeah, you're just like, it just doesn't quite hit. And it's like, and if you then just say, oh, it's a Soulsborne because it's just punishingly difficult and you're just gonna die all the time, it's like the dying is fine, but you kind of need to enjoy the gameplay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm also worried that my interest for a Bloodborne 2 is spilling over into seeing it and being like, yeah, I want to play this because I want Bloodborne 2. It's like, well, it's not Bloodborne 2. It's Life of P.
It's never happening. Bloodborne 2 is never happening. It's just they're not going to do it. I don't know why. It seems like it's like there's this whole pile of money on a table, and they're just like, nah, we don't want that.
They got Elden Ring money. Have you seen?
Yeah,
tons. They're like,
that's a bigger pile.
We don't need piles of money. Yeah,
that's true.
What else?
What else we got here?
Yeah. The other one that I'm super excited about is Where Winds Meet. This is beautiful.
Yeah,
looks gorgeous.
Really
when I first saw this, I was like, this almost feels like post Ghost of Tsushima game.
Yeah.
Like there's not a whole lot of UI in the little gameplay things they showed. Like the way that the world looks. I know that's like, of course you want to make a good looking game, but Ghost of Tsushima was like next level of how they use lighting and composing of everywhere you're looking.
Yeah.
It was like
painterly.
next level. Yeah. So the story is that it's set in the beginning of the Northern Song Dynasty period of Chinese history. So it's at the end of the 10th century CE. Era. Yeah, you know that. You've been there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
the player takes on the role of a wandering swordsman during the age of war and conflict, and the player must decide between upholding their own moral code or giving into a world of blade and blood. Which again, it was like, Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah.
Because you're like, do I want to be a sneaky ninja and have it storming all the time and dishonored to my family, or do I want to be a samurai? But it's just beautiful.
Well, also there's a lot more supernatural stuff going on in this. You notice?
Yeah.
Like freezing the enemies and like just like spooking animals and like I don't know. It definitely has like it's got the Ghost of Tsushima thing going on, but like it's got this other stuff that I'm like, what exactly is this game? Like you're controlling the elements,
right.
Yeah.
So they have a bit of more information. I don't think it will explain the supernatural stuff, but it just says that it was influenced by martial arts movies. You're going to be able to counter enemy blows, use Tai Chi to reflect their attacks, and use acrobatic moves to maneuver enemies. There's a lot of freedom in how you fight. You're going to have a wide range of weapons from swords to bows. And it's also going to give you a variety of gameplay to pursue outside of just combat. So you can become a doctor who saves lives.
Wow.
Okay.
Or a merchant earning as much gold as possible.
Okay, that's fun.
It's an expansive free construction system with over 600 authentic components that will allow players to build in the game world. So I'm gonna be a swordsman, but actually I'm just a doctor. I'm gonna build my little hut, and you come to my doctor's office, and I'm gonna cure
What
you.
even is this game?
I'm never
now?
coming
Yeah,
to Dr.
what?
Watts' office.
What is this game? Dr.
I don't
Watts.
Yeah.
That's not gonna end well with me.
Come to Dr. Watts for a quick little amputation. That's all.
Yeah.
Quick slice of the blade.
Free appetizers though.
What is
Yeah.
this game? It's
I
like,
don't know. It looks cool.
Yeah, I don't know either. It
but
looks
then
awesome.
if you watch the trailer or the that reveal, then you go all the way to the end. You're like, huh? What?
Yes. Yeah, right? I don't know. Like you said, there's a lot of supernatural stuff. The part at the end, I was like, I'm so
Yeah.
in now because it's like this big statue, this dude on top of it, and you're just like, I challenge you.
It's like a Final Fantasy
Dude,
type of
man.
thing, where like this
Yeah.
Yeah.
epic Final Fantasy ending or something like that. But it's also you get to be a doctor and build your city, your city planning in 9th century China or something.
Yeah. I just don't know. It's an action adventure martial arts game, but then you keep reading, and you're like, but there's
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, it just looks cool though.
It
It does look cool.
very beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's going to be tough
I
though
mean,
not to
I'm sold on
compare
this
it
one.
to Ghost of Tsushima constantly
Yes.
because there is a
Yeah.
lot of cues
Yeah.
from it, but that's also not necessarily fair to be like, well, comparison all the time. But
Yeah, you can be a doctor, you can be a merchant. There's a couple longer things. It just says that open-ended sandbox role playing, and I wonder if they talk about it more here. Exploring the vast landscape of in an unprecedented way. There is wind in the steppe, gentle sunlight through the bamboo, and enormous mysterious buildings and stone figures. While being a doctor and building a hut.
open.
That sounds nice. But what about somebody like me who really likes deserts and worms? Is there anything for me out there?
Is that a segue into Dune, the
Wait.
MMO?
Whoa.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
This game looks
Dude.
cool as hell.
Dude.
I like that Dune universe, so this would be kind of fun. I don't know if there's enough life in my body to play an MMO though. You know what I'm saying?
I'll play the Dune one. Absolutely.
You'll check it out.
Yeah, I might have to half-ass it, but I think that world, and especially the fact that they're like taking so much from what they did with the movie, it's like to make it feel like they're grabbing those elements that they've already pre-done in the movie. Like, I think that's gonna be awesome if it looks good or if it has that epic feel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the trailer looked like it does.
The trailer looks awesome, but there's no gameplay, right?
Yeah, no gameplay,
just
so you don't know.
Yeah.
No gameplay.
Is there a date? Have they announced any kind of potential?
Don't remember.
Q1 2023. An MMO alongside all these other games. How fun.
I feel like this is the game that could get constantly delayed if they're trying to do an MMO level
Yeah.
Dune
Yeah.
thing, Be like,
Especially if they're
"Actually,
like-
play it again."
Yeah, especially if, like this early. I mean, we're always used to that now anyway with like CG trailers. But yeah, if it's an MMO and they're not even showing the slightest bit of gameplay right now, it's like,
Yeah.
how far out is this thing?
Right?
Maybe they're planning on a release alongside the next Dune movie.
Yeah, that could be.
Oh,
For sure.
When is there a date for that?
I don't think
They had
so.
not started production as of the release of the first one, so I'd imagine
Oh,
it's a few years.
Mm-hmm.
oh no.
Yeah, it's a bit.
It didn't even
ways.
get greenlit until after the release of the first.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it makes me wonder though if that was just like marketing. because like when a movie is greenlit is now part of like the cycle of like, guess what, Dunes, like so part of the publication type of stuff. Looks cool though. I really like that cinematic universe, so I hope it's hope they do a good job with that.
Hope it's good. Hope it's fun. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't really know exactly what an MMO could do in that world.
Ride worms.
Maybe you can be like a sandworm farmer.
I could be a spice farmer.
Yeah, exactly. Spend your days, go out, gather some spice, try not to get eaten by a worm, come back.
Yeah, maybe like you scrap together one of those dragonfly planes, and upgrade it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about that world is all about like political intrigue, right? So there's all the different factions, all the different families. I'm sure there's a ton they could do with it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it'll even be like a Warcraft where you got like actual opposing factions. So you like, you pick whether you want to play as, I can't remember the names from the movie now, but like you pick your side, you kind of do your quest within that realm, and then you kind of got alliance and horde sort of thing. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
I'll be interested.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what else we got?
We had the First Descendant.
Oh, this one looks cool.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I was like, this looks like if Outriders was made by an Asian developer. And I was like, who developed the game? Korean studio. I was like, I knew it. Everyone's way too beautiful. Everyone is way too beautiful.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
I can't remember the name of the game now, but Eric, what's that early Xbox 360, PS3 game that was in the snow that we both liked so much?
Oh, Lost Planet.
Yeah, something about it reminds me of Lost Planet.
Yeah, because it's the grappling hook, right? That's what like because this has been like prior to being the First Descendant. This was called Project Magnum, and they had that in the trailer quite a while back. So this is interesting. Like I feel like I've been burned so many times by looter shooters, right? And I'm just like, especially recently with like Anthem and Godfall and stuff, and I'm like, I want to be excited because it looks really pretty. It's got a grappling hook. I like grappling hooks. Anytime a game's got a grappling hook, I'm like, well, now you sold me. It's like you can make it red, give me a grappling hook, I'm there. But there's obviously not a great deal of actual tangible gameplay. There are some scenes in there that like look like the gameplay shots. Obviously, there's no HUD and stuff. It's largely people just like running through, kind of like laying waste stuff. Like it looks kind of cool. Like it seems to be like a squad of, I think it's 3-person co-op. This one, so
I think it's 4.
Looked like 4 in the trailer, but maybe it's different in the announcement.
I thought it was 4,
Here
but I thought
experience the fun of strategic boss fights through 4-player co-op.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I only seem to sort of like see 3 people running together, but that's fair enough. That makes more sense. And we seem to sort of see, like, in the trailer, like, there was... Because in the original trailer, we saw, like, the tanky-looking guy, the kind of standard, like, mercenary-looking guy, and then, like, the frost mage. And then this time there's, like, a stealthy ninja-style assassin kind of thing. So it seems like the game's got, like, class elements as well. So potentially... And that's probably... There's a beta in October, right?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, you can go on Steam and request access to... So it's just a button. You sign into Steam, just press a button, and... There you go. See if you get.
I definitely want to see.
Really easy.
This is one of these things where I want to see it in action. I want to see how these elements come together because it definitely has like the vibe I got was Gears of War meets Destiny meets Outriders with like you said, Warframe, like all these elements, which is great if it's executed well. Like that'll be really fun, but it definitely is like it feels like it's pulling from all these like successful titles and like you said mashing up with a bunch of attractive people.
So see if somebody could finally pull off the Anthem killer we've all been waiting
for. Anthem killer. Exactly.
The interesting part and scary part is that it is free.
That is interesting.
So what does the monetization look like?
That is interesting.
It is very interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. You said it's Korean developers?
Yes. I can read a little bit about it so we get a better idea of what it is. So it has a variety of equipment is necessary for growth. You could obtain them through clearing scenario missions within the game or in the world missions where cooperation is crucial and battles with huge bosses. The player becomes a descendant in the game and is given a mission to fight against the invaders for the survival of humans and to protect the Ingress continent. The player can experience a spectacular story by growing stronger through various missions and stories to finally discover the Descendant's secret. You can also feel the Descendant's unique atmosphere through high-quality fields developed with Unreal Engine 5 and gain a new experience of reality and SF fantasy coexisting in one place. So there are a bunch of different classes you can be. It's got a mature content description. It says guns and explosive against monsters. Blood effects. Nice.
I see.
My favorite.
All right.
Experience the First Descendant's exciting battles composed of various characters with unique skill sets, free movements, and chain actions through grappling hooks, colorful firearms, and additional effects. You can target huge monsters with different appearances and abilities through 4-player co-op. The various difficulties will stimulate your competitive spirit.
Stimulate.
I see.
Tingly.
Is there SBMM?
Maybe. And you can destroy or extract various parts of the huge bosses through 4-player cooperative play. You can jump on them, start, I need this for my gun. I must chip at it.
Oh man, so it's
Like,
actually
Watts, we're dying. Get off of the stop farming.
It's actually Warframe and Destiny and Monster Hunter combined.
Monster
What?
Hunter?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It
Maybe.
seems like it.
That sounds dangerous.
For your equipment, you can have 3 guns, 4 secondary equipments, and various sub-weapons.
Wow.
That's a lot at your disposal at once.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be free, so I'd be down to check it out for free.
Definitely, yeah.
Free.
Free in quotations. Get the $100 starter pack that gets you.
Yeah.
The golden grappling hook.
Golden grappling hook and the tightest outfit you can find.
Right. Extra tight outfits. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I just hope there's no like this is the gun, the meta gun that's tied behind some sort of paywall. That's what can really kill it.
Yeah. I don't care about people doing cosmetic stuff as long as there's a loot in the game, right? It's a looter shooter, so there does have to be loot in the game for you to get. But if it's like I buy a, like you said, a gold grappling hook,
yeah,
a grappling hook that's got a weird monster on the front, that's cool. That just made me remember. I was watching Where the Winds Meet gameplay, and there was a bear that roared at the player, and then he picked up like a big bell, like roared back.
I thought it was a barrel. Was it a barrel?
A barrel? I don't know.
Like a wooden
something.
barrel?
I was like, what is going on?
That's why I was saying. I was like, what is this? Like the chi, you know, like the psycho thing.
It's your barrel defense. I mean, it's your bear defense barrel. You don't have one? What are you guys doing out there on the West Coast? What do you guys do against bears?
We roar at them, man. Cool.
The other one that I put in the chat for a trailer was Atlas Fallen. And watching like the cinematic stuff, I was like, it's cool. It's like a desert and just slide in, and you've got like a cool like whip sword thing. But then at the end, there was a little bit of actual gameplay, and I was like, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Do we know? Does they say what type of game this is? Like open world?
Let's look it up.
Is there sort of
action adventure, action RPG, action adventure? Let's see what it says. You rise from the dust and liberate mankind with the oppression of corrupted gods.
The dust.
Glide the sands of a timeless land filled with ancient dangers, mysteries, and fragments of the past. Hunt legendary monsters using powerful shape-shifting weapons and devastating sand-powered abilities. Target and gather the essence of your enemies to shape your own custom playstyle, forging a new era for humanity in a fully cooperative or solo story campaign. That's cool. You can co-op the whole campaign. Yeah. So it sounds like Monster Hunter. Everything sounds like Monster Hunter. It's like hunt big monsters, level up, shape with weapons, hunt monsters,
and sand surf.
I don't know. This game's got a cool look to it for sure.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, like you said, that gameplay. The gameplay definitely made me go, okay, this looks cool. I want to see what's up.
All of these trailers, I think, with the exception of Life of P, look next gen to me.
They do.
Like
they all look
they're really
good.
pushing graphics here. Like it looks like are we transitioning away from dual development with PlayStation 4 and PS5, and we're just moving on to PS5 and next gen, or what's going on here? Because these look great.
Yeah, it does seem like we're beginning to see that.
Yeah. All of them, all the games that I saw, I was just like, man, everything looks so good now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I wonder when they are actually going to start doing that, because I know that, like, obviously in light of there still being like chip shortage and stuff, like I imagine a lot of people are still very hesitant to do that. But I do wonder like when they're finally going to be like, this is just going to be for PS5, because obviously there's a lot of big games coming. Even down to things like God of War, it's still going to be on PS4 and stuff. And obviously it's great that more people get to enjoy it, but obviously it also conversely means that it's not going to look as good as it potentially could have. So it will be interesting to see. Yeah, but I honestly feel like it's gonna be another couple, like 2 or 3 years. Because I feel like because at the moment there's still not enough people owning PS5s and Series X's to really warrant cutting off the entire like player base, right?
And now, if you're outside of the US, you got a price increase for your PS5.
Which is already expensive.
And now it's even more expensive if you didn't already buy it, which that sucks.
Which you probably couldn't anyway.
Yeah, you couldn't. It's like, oh well, I'll just buy it when it's finally in the store.
How about that?
Yeah, I'm sure. Like most people are probably like, yeah, I'll just get it when it's available. And now they're like, actually, it's going to be 20% more expensive now that you waited, and it's still not in the store yet. That's a slap in the face.
That's a little galling to me. It's the fact that it's been so hard to get. And now they've raised the price. It's like, well, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, like, I think the manufacturers have had to pay an actual 20 to 30% increase in actual costs for their parts. And it's been like, if you don't pay it, then you lose your line. And you might have been waiting already a year for some of those parts. So I understand why. I'd be more sympathetic, though, if it was a smaller company. But it's Sony. I'm like, come on, Sony. Right?
Yeah, and that like it's weird because like, I mean, there's always the business side behind it. There's like, okay, maybe it's like more expensive to manufacture because of these limitations. But yeah, you're hurting your consumer for like, and just it's not. And it's not like people have said, I'm gonna wait. I don't want to buy one. As you say, like you physically couldn't buy it, and then through your inability to buy it, you now have to pay even more.
Yeah,
and you're probably still, and even when the even more expensive one comes around, it's probably also still going to be very hard to get a hold of. So it's like all this like pain is just like
it's a slap, man.
And the thing as well is like all of that stuff stacked on top of each other. It's like there are some great PS5 games, but truth be told, like if anyone says to me like right now is like, should I buy a PS5? It's still like I still don't feel like there's a singular type. Like there are, obviously like Demon's Souls looks fantastic on it. It's great, right? It's like, but generally speaking, like I still wouldn't say right now you have to buy a PS5 for this. This is like a system seller title. Like I can't believe you haven't played this game. Like you can't live without it. Like I still don't feel like PS5 has that yet. So like with the price increase, I'm just like, you might as well still just wait right now.
Yeah. Well, in terms of single player games, yeah, I hear you on that. But if you're if you're a Destiny player, I think the difference between a PS4 and a PS5 is drastic. Like I was.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. When we were doing the raid, people were coming in saying, "Oh man, like PC looks so good." And it's like, I'm not on PC. I'm on PS5.
Really?
Yeah, because it looks like PC essentially. Like so. If you're someone that does play a game like Destiny all the time, then I think it's a huge difference. But if you're not, you're absolutely right. Like there's a few games, but outside of that, it hasn't been an avalanche of PS5 titles that are amazing. It's only been a handful, really.
They did announce the new what's that little robot guy, the Sony mascot robot guy.
Oh, Astro?
Yeah, they did announce that they're making a new game. New Astro game.
Playroom 2?
So that could be
Ooh. That would be really cool. That like
cool.
I like that. Like considering it was just like a little tech demo, it's like one of my favorite things on PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they said that this is gonna be a full-fledged game too. This is like hopefully gonna be their kind of like, because they had previously made a great PSVR game, and then they made a great PS5 like launch pack-in game, which was Play World, Astro's Playroom.
Yeah.
Playroom. Thank you.
Yeah.
So like this is gonna be their first shot at like a big boy, like
Astro's Adventure.
Yeah.
I
I feel like he
Astro's
has
a wild
the
ride.
characteristics to be like the new PlayStation mascot as well. Because I feel like for a while like Sackboy was the mascot, but since like Media Molecule have transitioned into Dreams, I feel like Sackboy is still a mascot. Like you still see PlayStation like use him and things like that. And obviously there was the new Sackboy.
Too bad those games suck.
Oh no. I liked the original Little Big Planet because it was just new and it was a cool thing. But like after a while, it was a little bit. I've played it now.
They just control so weird. Like I don't know.
Why didn't they stick with Crash Bandicoot and like secure rights for Crash? Crash was a great.
Crash Bandicoot is terrible.
What? Get out! Come on.
We are just swinging at the Sony fanboys right now.
I hate Crash Bandicoot with a passion. This game.
Why?
Right, I mean, I'll admit, right? Like I didn't grow up with Crash, so maybe there's that element of like, but like, so I came back in quite late, right? Well, firstly, I'm already biased because I like Banjo-Kazooie, and I just see Crash Bandicoot as a wannabe Banjo because he's just like got blue pants and he's just a lesser version, right? But
doesn't he predate?
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry about this.
I played Crash on the first PlayStation. Come on.
Hey, listen, in my mind, there was none of that.
I sold my Nintendo 64 to get a PlayStation Crash and all that.
Oh, what a waste! What a waste! But
I was regretful.
But more to the point, right, is that when I finally got invited to an event to play like the Crash remaster, I went back and like I like my platformers. I love my 3D platformers. It's one of my favorite genres. Like I consider myself, when it comes to my gaming skill, my gaming prowess, I'm an average gamer at best, right? If it's anything competitive, I'm terrible. But platformers, I feel like I'm pretty good. So I went to pick up Crash, and I'm just like. This controls like absolute dog, and I'm like, why do like how could anyone like this? And they're like,
I think there was a pretty
big
big input delay on the remaster. I think
the Dark Souls. It's the Dark Souls of platformers.
There were people but that's what I mean. But there were people in the comments like, no, this is how it's always played. It's just got a very like unique style. You mean trash? You mean it plays like trash? Like I like my platformers to be precise so I can navigate these things, not have to like press a button 10 seconds before. No.
It's like they come from such a weird time. Crash Bandicoot was like part of that like 90s like attitude kind of thing where you had to be like screaming at the top of your lungs all the time about how cool you are and how like lame Mario was, you know?
Wow.
I don't know.
How you feel about
it reeks of that. Plus, like those games don't really. I don't know. I suppose people like them, but I'm kind of with you. I don't think those games hold up particularly well. Like those early 3D games, they're just so clumsy.
And who wants to play
they were from the 90s, man. They're from the 90s. Come on, it's all
Look,
those
I play
games.
A lot of games from the 90s.
They all had rough parts. Maybe that game had a bit more. But what I was saying though is that the PlayStation has had no true mascot that's stuck. You know?
No.
Sackboy, no. Astro, it's like, sure, maybe. But if you look back to like when the PlayStation 1 existed, Crash was the closest one. They could have invested in Crash, and they could have made a great Crash game. They could have made Crash 256-bit, you know, like some crazy thing, and it could have been great, but they didn't. That's what I'm saying. Sony missed out.
Crying baby from the PS3 ads. Remember that? Like the upsetting spaghetti baby.
I don't know.
You know what else bothers me about Crash as well? Since we're on the Crash thing, right?
I would like to hear.
Like, because like, so when they started trying the mascot thing, they're like, oh, let's do the spin-off. So they even make a Crash Bandicoot version of Mario Kart, and it is the worst controlling kart game I've ever played. I'm like, this is not like when it comes to drifting, this is not how you drift. When it comes to like even just down to driving in a straight line, why is driving in a straight line difficult? Like I shouldn't have to. It should just be hold down the trigger. Like it's everything. Anything that Crash touches turns.
Unless you're playing SnowRunner, it should be easy to drive in a straight line.
Yeah. Exactly.
I guess that's the problem. You know, Crash has had a rough start. It's had a rough existence. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
They didn't give it the proper funding. They didn't get the Mario treatment. Okay.
This is true. It is. It's yeah.
I mean,
maybe
the sole point of him was just to like be cooler than Mario, right? To be more edgy than Mario. He was literally like the commercial was him standing in front of Nintendo headquarters with a megaphone yelling at the top of his lungs.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
No. The commercials used to be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, man.
Yeah.
Well,
90s were weird.
That was a tangent. Oh, hey, didn't they talk about the
90s,
VR?
Nintendo used to make dick jokes in the 90s about the Game Boy in fucking magazine ads.
Wow.
no.
Yeah.
Well, the 90s advertisements were something else. Yeah.
They were special.
So, but didn't they mention something about the VR 2 possibly getting a date, or what was it? PlayStation VR 2?
I haven't heard this. I'm interested though.
I could have swore they had mentioned. I should have looked it up beforehand.
I'm mostly curious of what the price of that thing is going to be, because it comes with so much equipment. It's such a high res screen. It's like, it looks like it's really advanced. Like, what price point are they going to be hitting with that? Plus, they're raising the price of the PS5.
I know, right? PS5 is getting
Meta
a bump,
just raised the price of the Oculus.
Yeah, all I can see is coming early 2023 for the PSVR 2.
Yeah.
I definitely want to be an early adopter on this and check it out, because this is what I've been waiting for. I wanted PS5 technology, and I wanted the second generation of whatever VR that they're doing with this to finally decide that I'm going to be having VR technology that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if the PS4 games will be compatible with the new headset.
yeah, don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with it, because I'm still like not completely sold on VR, but I kind of still stand by what I said before, where like my personal favorite VR experiences have still been on the PSVR. Like I like I like the original headset, and I liked that the games that I played there definitely felt more like games and less like tech demos. But admittedly, I've done like 2 of them, so I haven't really like had the extensive experience with them. So I'll definitely be interested to sort of see what they do with it. But it does still seem quite weird, because VR is still in that very interesting position where it's like the barrier to entry is slightly high. There are some more affordable headsets, but generally speaking, it's pretty high. If you want to get it on PC, you need a decent rig. If you want to get it on console, and now they're going to do it for PS5, it's like, well, now good luck getting a console, and now here's a headset. So it's like, are they going to actually invest enough to start pumping the games out? Because I feel like, they've got a decent headset on PlayStation, but there's not really
Crash Bandicoot VR
to use it for. Oh no. You mean the worst controls, and I'll just be dizzy and like, the vomit experience.
Crash Bandicoot VR vomit experience. Yes.
Imagine.
Didn't they say they were going to do a Resident Evil Village like thing for VR?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
It did.
That alone,
Also the
Resident
DLC.
Evil 7 VR was so fun that kind of sells me on it all by itself, is getting back into Resident Evil in the VR, even though I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Fun.
Sounds spooky.
Spooky.
Yeah, that hardware is going to be cool. I'm just worried about the cost. If the cost is super high,
So
I don't think
literally
the
another PlayStation 5.
So good.
They like want $500-600 bucks for the VR too.
Considering all the hardware that comes with, I feel like that's almost like a good price.
Yeah. Oof. That's pretty spendy for that. For something that's going to have a very limited selection of titles for probably a while.
That's why I'm wondering if PS4 titles would be compatible, because that instantly makes a bigger library right at launch. And there was some good stuff on PS4. A lot of tech demo-y stuff, like Eric's was saying, but some fun stuff. I don't know if those Vader games, Vader Immortal, ever came over to PS.
I don't think so.
They were stuck on the Oculus platform, I think, maybe. I'd have to look. But those games are fantastic. So cool to use a lightsaber against literally fighting Darth Vader with a lightsaber. It's kind of one of the most memorable experiences of my gaming life.
I still need to check that one out. I still think to this day, my favorite experience was still Riggs, which was their like mech game, because it had like the simplest of uses for the VR. Like you still controlled everything with PlayStation controller, and you just looked around. But that was one of those weird ones where sometimes the fast-paced nature of VR can make people feel sick, but weirdly this one just didn't, and it was really like well done. So I feel like if they could take what Riggs was, but maybe just like actually extrapolate it into like a mech game and not just like an arena-based
Mech Warrior. Oh hell yeah,
that would be so cool.
Yes, cool. Please bring back that big ass controller from that game for the 360. What was that game called? Chrome Warrior Wolf something. I can't remember. It was
Steel
amazing.
Battalion.
It was like Steel Battalion. Yeah, that's right. Oh my god. So look up that controller if you're bored.
You had to like with that one. Like if you were about to die, you had to like actually press the eject button. Otherwise, you would like have to
lose
start
your
the
game
again.
save or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Another great VR experience was Star Wars Squadrons. Actually, being in the cockpit of an X-wing and flying around was, man, that was mind blowing. That was like really special.
That's cool. We should let's see. Was there anything else in Gamescom you guys wanted to touch on? I'm sure there was a bunch of titles that got announced.
I know that was the main stuff, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like
I think that was the main stuff that people saw and were like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I put out a tweet as well, asking what people enjoyed from it, and those were kind of all the ones that people said. So
yeah, cool. Well, I think the biggest thing I'm excited about is the leak from Bandai Namco about Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah, I hope that's a working title though, because I don't like it.
Barbarian Badlands or whatever the crap.
Barbarians of the Badlands.
It sounds like a Borderlands DLC.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, they're barbarians and they're from the Badlands.
Yeah. Come on.
It's a little too on the nose, honestly.
You want barbarians of mountains or something? Barbarians from the woods?
I don't know.
Mages from the Badlands?
Barbarians kayaking down the stream. That's what he wants.
Kayak squad.
Maybe there'll be a kayak in there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's a lot of water in the game.
They'll get rid of your horse, and you can take a little kayak.
Yes, you kayak mount. I think.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Briar, you sold?
No.
All right. Anything else?
Then that's it. Did anyone play? It wasn't Gamescom related, but did anyone get to play Curse to Golf since?
I
No,
didn't.
not
Yeah, you just said it again, and I was like, okay, I need to put it on my my Steam Deck immediately. Because
the only thing that I've played on Steam Deck.
Have you been playing it this week or last week?
Not too much this week, but I played the week before. Yeah, it's like I have not completed the 18 holes successfully yet, so I am still working my way through. But it's good. It's good.
Any further thoughts on the
just
Steam
added
Deck
it to my
experience?
Steam cart.
Yeah, nice. No, I think much like I sort of said at the beginning. I think it's just like I haven't sort of like, because I think a lot of the mechanics were sort of presented quite early on. So like just the game is just still super solid and stuff. But it's just it's just fun to play. It's got that nice. It's what I like about the kind of roguelike element as well. It's just like, if you want to sit in and just play like a little 20-minute session, you can. Yeah. But if you want to like sink some more time in, then so definitely give it a try.
Have you played anything else on the Steam Deck?
Nope, not yet. The Steam Deck is currently a Curse to Golf machine.
Yeah. Mine is a Vampire Survivors machine.
I need you to play a few other games and then see if you start feeling morally conflicted about your Switch versus your Steam Deck. Okay? So that's your assignment.
Ooh. Okay. It's nice to hold. I definitely like I was when I picked up, I was like, okay, this is quite a unit.
It is,
but it's actually surprisingly comfortable.
Yeah, that's what I found too.
I agree.
Yeah,
I still prefer the Hori Split Pad Pro over the Steam Deck, though.
Yeah,
it feels similar because they're both chonk.
Yeah,
but I just like the Hori controller better.
If there's a title that comes out that you can get on either Steam Deck or the Switch, what are you going to get it on?
It completely depends on the title to me.
Yeah.
Can I get it physically, or is it download only on both? Does it run?
Let's say it's download only on both.
Does it run like shit on the Switch?
The Switch is 30 FPS, and the Steam Deck is like 45 to 60.
45 to 60.
Yeah, higher resolution also. Like the Steam Deck is only going to be like 500p.
The Switch doesn't really matter to me on those consoles because I can't see that good anyway.
I feel like for me, I'd still like. I mean, I am just a 30 Nintendo fanboy, so I still feel like I just get it on my Switch just because the portability is more portable than the Steam Deck.
Right. See, I'm well aware of that right now, Eric. But I'm saying you got to get like 5 other titles, play them on the Steam Deck, and then see if you come back feeling the same way.
Play Monster Hunter on your Steam Deck compared to your Switch.
Yes, that's the yep.
That's a big difference.
Okay, yeah. That one, I feel like Monster Hunter will be that definitely.
Yeah. You can see pixels and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little different. All right, well, is that episode 151?
I think
Yeah,
it
it is.
is. We're going into September. There's some games coming out. I think the first one coming out that I'm somewhat interested in is Steel Rising.
Cool.
I don't have a ton of faith for this game because this company has made games where the trailers are amazing and incredible, and then you play
Who
the
is
game and you're like, oh, it's Spiders. Spiders is the developer. They are behind Greedfall, Of Orcs and Men.
I liked
Fairy,
Greedfall a lot.
Technomancer. Well, you may like Steel Rising.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out no matter what, because there's not a whole lot coming out soon. So I'll check it out and see what it's like. Comes out on the 8th.
Cool.
So 9 days.
To check it out. We are kind of in the season of go through your back catalog.
Yeah. Or like there's this game that you're somewhat interested in. Like give it a go, see what you think.
Yep. All right. Well, episode 151 of SideQuest. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out. We appreciate all the support. Shout out to our Patreon members and our Twitch subs for keeping the shows going on the feed. And we'll see you next week for more stuff. Obviously, DCP this week is going to be exciting, talking about King's Fall and all that. And
King's Fall and the new seasonal thing, whatever's going to happen on Tuesday. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yep. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Call your mother.
Bye.
Take it easy.